so diligently. It's like his love endures forever. He just never gives up. He has turned everything up. He has flipped everything. I can't say it's going to take a long time to become my first maiden name, Holman. A Holman. I can't say that. Because my maiden name, married name, is Quick. That quickening spirit. And it's quick. You know that quickening spirit. Do you know it? Cleek knows it. But boy, did he throw everyone off their feet with that ending. I don't know if you heard it or missed it or what, but he took you off your feet, didn't he? I don't know if he realised what he was doing. There are demons in Christians. I knew that right from the beginning. Oh no, Christians can't have demons. I heard that. Think of the one-liners that you hear. They happen every day. Like that's why I put those recordings up. Because we sat here over lunch and I was thinking about what was going on, what they were saying. You know, I'm looking at two men knowing that one is going to rob me and won't pay for the dog. South, he said of himself, he's a good Samaritan. His wife's body's not even dead. She has Alzheimer's. And he spends his money on prostitutes. And you could say wild living, but he's not really drinking. But he's a good man. And then the other one is lying to my face about being a good husband when the Lord's told me that when he went to sea, he didn't go to sea all the time. And given me that word necromancy. It's worship of the dead. I mean, even when I saw him 2 days ago, he talked about the door shutting. Oh no, that's my wife. Man, he's a subtle beast. You know, all the gods, little G, are alive and kicking. American gods. And you think you can navigate through it. Oh Lord, enlarge my tent. Because we are like mobile. Arks. The Ark of the Covenant. It's the most important thing. Because in the Ark are the commandments, right? Hey, are they tables or are they tablets? Are they tables or are they tablets? It's not going to be long because he's subtle. till you're going to and fro looking for the word of God and you're not going to be able to find it. "13 is like 17. That's what the Lord said. They're the same. Revelation 13. "And I saw out of the sea that's all I have to say, you know what it is. "And I saw out of the sea a beast." That's 13. "17. And came one of the 7 angels, having the 7 bowls, and spoke with me, saying, Come here, I'll show you the punishment of the prostitute. You know, I watched a wee bit of The Waltons. It was a Christmas movie. It was before the series, I think. They lived at the foot of the mountain. And they were married 17 years. They were set in the movie and they had 7 children. Why is she talking about the Waltons? So the top of the pots was 72. So God gave me 72. The last performer was T-Rex. And then they had Rockin' Robin. Rockin' Robin. Tweet. Diddly-diddly-dee. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Why the tweet? It's the islands. Rockin' Robin. Michael Jackson. 5. They sang that. Same colours too, you know, that red and that yellow. Have you seen it? That red and that yellow. So, yeah, but Lisa, it's a robin. I know. The Lord's already led me to the robin. They switched. They've switched the birds. It's the old switcheroo. Told you can't follow this. Because you're not... I can't say you're not led by the Spirit. I'm trying to encourage you to be led by the Spirit. There are 3 robins. They've done DNA tests. Harvard. On Canary Islands. They're very ancient. They're unique on the Canary Islands. I started a joke that started the whole world living. And when I finally died, Robin Gibb, the least attractive of the 3 boys, but he was the songbird. It's on his tombstone. On the side, songbird. The songbird has flown the nest. I've got photos of it, but I'm just trying to cut to the chase here because, you know, I think I'm going to try and, I think I'm going to try and get you to the place where you suddenly know, you've been stuffing around. You've been given so much, everything, to run this race. You've been given everything. You're just cocky. The Lord's speaking about the race. He knows you stop and lie on your back and put a daisy in your mouth and sort of tap your foot on your knee. But then suddenly you're going to realise, oh shit, there's a chance I'm going to lose this race. There is a chance you're going to lose this race. But the Lord's flipped that too. The thing is that you don't deserve to hear the flip. She says, so if we like this, and I love the picture, the Lord said I flip it, I flip it, and I flip it. He does things 3 times. So, you get turned up. You get turned down. So you get turned up again. Because we're all going to have that suddenly when we realise. So why is there someone like Eric out there? Why is someone like Eric being raised up? Like it's just seen Bangladesh, of all places. I don't know if he writes everything down. He documents everything. Then there's Claire. Bangladesh. He's seen the bowls, hasn't he? And we know that if the Lord didn't shorten this time, that no flesh would survive. But it's like, oh, it's not time for that. It's like, it seems peaceful. And then we've got Clegg and so he switched the birds. He switched the birds. They're a sign, all the birds that fall from the sky dead. There's a picture of birds hanging, you know, with a wing up like that, just hanging in the air. Dead, some sort of magnetic field. I've seen that. But the Lord showed me the birds are the, so this is where you have to realise this is suddenly the birds have always been the locusts. So that movie, that horror movie, The Birds, I watched a wee documentary and I put it up where he's, first he mocks the duck. He holds up a decoy duck. Well, we've already got to that bit, haven't we? And the Lord said to me, I'm to be like a duck. And then this is Alfred Hitchcock. On one of the songs on Top of the Pops, if you did watch it, was my ding-a-ling, your ding-a-ling, won't you play with my ding-a-ling? I guess he's doing the drawing for it. It's really entertaining. Rolf Harris. It's a children's song. He loved his children, didn't he? He really loved his children. 72. Speaking in tongues. 72. The birds. Oh yeah, Alfred Hitchcock. Then he gets his knife and fork and he eats the birds. He eats the duck. Then he walks to the back of the room and it gets a wee bit spooky because you know what happens when they walk in the door. The birds come and get them. Pick their eyes. First victim, eyes are out. They're the locusts. It's the switcheroo. I mean, they're not canaries. They're not named after canaries. The islands are named after dogs. The Egyptian worship of the dog. The half-man hybrid dog. They call it puppy love. That name is because it means God. You're loving the gods, the small gods, in your Bible. The Lord sent me to Solomon because I was trying to do a study on 72. There's a question mark in it. Your King James Bible has a question mark in it. Since when did it have question marks? What if we are at the end and you're just getting this suddenly because you're realizing you're not going to win this race? You're not going to win the race because you've been too cocky. But he knows his ones. The Lord knows his ones are like this. I'm like that. I was like that. What's most recently happened? The Lord showed me the fallen soldier and all. You know, the indigenous people, representatives, just like the Pope brings on the representatives of the different tribes. They pay their tribute. It was a rose. It's a rose. Well, that decoy duck paid tribute to the Pope. That's your beast, isn't it? What if we're a lot further ahead and the birds that fell out of the sky in Paris, the beginning of this year, between Christmas and New Year, I mean, they're the locusts. Between Christmas and New Year, they're the locusts. Between Christmas and New Year, they fell on International Bird Day in Paris. No, I think it may have been the Vatican. We've been seeing them fall from the year, haven't we? Oh, this is suddenly, I'm just about out of time. So I'll just probably end up ranting some more and slowly showing you through some of the images. But I will tell you that the Lord has shown me without a doubt Christmas and New Year Revelations 13 and 17 are the same. And that's got many layers. And 72 led me to Solomon. And about how Eli, who was blind, sorry, not Solomon, Samuel, and about how Eli, who was blind, when he heard that the Hebrews, they got the ark, and the Philistines were scared, terrified they were going to lose the war because of the gods, because of their God. Because of their God, capital G-O-D, it's 4:30 with a question mark. With a question mark. It's Elohim, but they've got a question mark next to it. These are delusions. The Bible, the Word of God, right? If you just think the Word of God is the pen and paper, the printed word, and it resides in the temple, that's an abomination. Already in the temple standing. What if, and I'm hoping that you'll get a start and realise that you're not going to win this race. What if Jesus was right when he said the first will be last and you will win this race? But you really, the Lord doesn't trust you to understand that, because then you'll just sit back again. Hey, that's not what he wants you to do now. Someone went through the airport with a false V certificate, and they said, "Come here. We know you haven't had it because you're marked." I didn't say that, but you are. You're tracked. They know. Just like last night, I nearly ripped that thing off my door. The truthers and the detectives get herded. Yeah. And in that story in Samuel, they decide, those Philistines, to go for it. And they take the ark, and they take many, many fallen soldiers, like the memorial to the fallen soldier, the unknown soldier. They take the ark. What can't they take? What can't they take? And Eli, he shows up. No, I remember it must have been Samuel was the boy who got up 3 times because he heard the Lord, and Eli was the priest. That's when I know. And Eli, who's blind now, falls backwards off his chair. Backwards. And you wouldn't believe where that led me to when I looked at root words. Revelations 18. It's a spot without blemish. It's also a spice, an Indian spice. One of the ones that Babylon was their merchandise. Woe, 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 Babylon has fallen. And there's a nice long list. 299. 230. And they spell it capital G-O-D-S in God Rules Bible. It was strong, so that's what I was looking at, not my Bible. Because the Philistine says, who is this God? They were yelling and feeling triumphant because they had the ark, but they decided to go for it and they took them out. They had a victorious slaughter. $299, that's your blameless, without blemish, used for Jesus. It's your sacrifice. Well, this is 50 minutes. Probably come up in 2 parts, surely. Anyway, I'll try and show you some pictures so you can understand a little bit more, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Of course I've counterfeited tongues. I knew that in the first year I was saved, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't pray in tongues nearly as much as those Christians that want to be seen. But I do when the Lord leads me. Just when the Lord leads you.